Hello, dudes, dudettes, and everything in between. I'm Reyes, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk, the series where I watch awful shows so you don't have to. So I can imagine a lot of you have seen my Let's Talk episode on Tomorrow's Pioneers. It was one of my first Let's Talks, and to this day, it is one of my most popular videos, and has been most people's gateway to the world, which is Reyes. However, I made that several months ago, without the knowledge that there was so much more to cover. So, I am back to explain several more reasons why this show should be banned in every country. But first, disclaimer, this episode will contain talks of death, anti-Semitism, discrimination, war, and racism. So if any of that bothers you, I completely understand if you want to leave. I also recommend watching my first video before this one because I don't think this one would make sense otherwise. As for the rest of you, sit back and welcome to Let's Talk. It's back. Tomorrow's Pioneers, Part 2. Okay, so we left off in the last episode with this guy, this rabbit whose name is Asud, and I will be pronouncing everything wrong in this video, so I am sorry in advance. But he came on after the bee named Nahul died because they weren't able to get him proper medical care for whatever sickness he had acquired, because they'd have to be sent to Egypt, which Palestine is enemies with. Alright, everyone with me so far? So, this rabbit comes in as a replacement because the position of co-host is like the Defense Against the Dark Arts position at Hogwarts, and no one lasts more than one season. First, they had Farfour, who is Mickey Mouse from the Dollar Tree, and the company that broadcasted this show called Al-Aqsa TV, and the creator of this show, Hazim, I'm not even going to attempt that, were actually in a bit of hot water with Disney for making the character look eerily similar to the children's character we all know and love. Then they had Nahul, who was the bee that died after Farfour was shown being beaten to death on live TV to children. After Nahul dies after suffering cardiac arrest on screen to children, he was replaced with this rabbit. I know, it's a lot to take in, but try to stay with me. So, when researching this bunny, I went to a wiki called loathsomecharacters.org, and immediately I see three things. Status, deceased, not surprising there. Type, rabbit that promotes terrorism. That's always lovely, isn't it? Is it Bugs Bunny? No. Is it Roger Rabbit? No. Is it a cheap, bland ripoff of them? Yes. I mean, they're not wrong. It also said his voice is worse than Horace from The Problem Solvers, which I covered that show in another Let's Talk, and honestly, his voice sounds like an angel compared to this. He sounds like he was sent from God himself compared to the vocal cords you're about to hear from this beast. In one episode, he says that he will kill all the Jews. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Maybe something someone else would say, perhaps? Maybe another guy from history that also hated Jews? A certain dictator from Germany that YouTube would slap my channel with a strike if I said? He was also tortured whenever he did something. Like in one episode, he stole money and was told to get his hand cut off. And the host, Sarah, said that it was a practical joke. While Asud was literally having a mental breakdown, begging her to let him free. Like a practical joke. Are you fucking kidding me? That's not a joke. A joke is putting water on my seat to make me sit down and make it look like I pissed myself. This is not a practical joke. But remember, you're showing this to children as young as 3 years of age. That is the age I'm pretty sure I got my first tricycle. I couldn't ride without training wheels, and you're showing this to those ages? 3 to 13. Honestly, if you would have shown this to me at 13, I would have still had nightmares. Because the worst kind of horror is reality, and this was real. The way Asud dies is similar to Nahul, except instead of getting sick, he's injured in an Israeli attack. He's in the hospital and dies right in front of the children. Once again, I sound like a broken record at this point. On his deathbed, he also instructs literal kids to die to liberate Israeli cities. So, I am all about fighting for what's right and standing for the country you're a part of. Veterans, thank you for your service. But I am not about telling kids that they're basically being drafted to get back at a country you were at war with. I'm all for patriotism, but telling a 4-year-old kid essentially to throw themselves at any bullet they can is fucked up on so many levels. So, let's go back to our host, whose name is Sarah. If you don't know who Sarah is, she was the main host of the show, and I'm pretty sure she has her own YouTube channel now, but back then she was the host of this show. I can imagine how annoying it must have been to have to introduce a new character every week. I can't keep track of them. I'd also like to point out that IMDb says it's a comedy, drama, and family show. What part of this is funny or family friendly? You know what's funny? Fucking Rick and Morty. Fucking comedians. This is not funny. Alright, so after Asud dies, they bring in Nasur, a brown bear that is apparently, or was, the last co-host. He is known for claiming to have come to the Gaza Strip to defend the children of Palestine, but at the same time, all of them tell the kids watching to throw themselves at anybody from Israel whenever possible. It's very contradicting. So since those are all the characters I can find, let's move on to the controversies that this show has faced. So, because the first character for 4 looks like another certain mouse we know, but a Dollar Tree cheap version of it, they faced backlash from Disney themselves. Diane Disney Miller, who was Walt Disney's last surviving child at the time, commented on it saying, "What we're dealing with here is pure evil, and you can't ignore that. It's not just about Mickey Mouse, it's about indoctrinating children like this, teaching them to be evil. The world loves children, and this is just going against the grain of humanity. That's why they ultimately decided to kill off Farfour instead of, I don't know, remove him? Or even better, remove the damn show." However, several months later, they made use of Disney characters again in a cartoon attacking Fatah. The clip portrayed the former local leader, Mohammed Dalan, as corrupt and anti-Islamic rats, while portraying Hamas as a lion based off of Simba from The Lion King. Fatah also began broadcasting a show targeting children that features Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Yeah, take a beloved children's character and make them into a monster. Fantastic idea. They also got criticism from the United States. Representative Joseph Crowley stated that he condemned the use of TV programming by Hamas to use violence, hatred, and anti-Semitism towards young children and towards Israel. And as most of you know, once the United States gets involved, that's how you know you fucked up. I feel like we don't get involved much unless it's a huge thing. We're trying to stop the inflation rates from making Americans poor. So when we get involved, it's a huge deal, and we got involved. In fact, Arabic speakers from CNN translated some of the clips, and Sarah is interpreted as saying the Jews will shoot us or the Jews are killing us. I feel like banging my head against the wall right now. This is ridiculous, evil, brainwashing. Hey Siri, What are some synonyms for stupidity?
Synonyms for stupidity include lack of intelligence, unintelligence, and foolishness.
Yeah, all of those. So where is tomorrow's pioneers today? I can't find anything from after 2009, but I'm also American, so maybe no one has access to other episodes here. I don't know. That's going to be it for this video. If you want to see more of my content or knee slap content, consider subscribing if you'd like. I love you all, stay safe, and never let anybody take your crown.
A duck walked up to a lemonade stand and he said to the man running the stand, "Hey, bump, 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 got any grapes?" The man said, "No, we just sell lemonade, but it's cold and it's fresh and it's all homemade. Can I get you a glass?" The duck said, "I'll pass." Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle, till the very next day, bump, 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 ba-dum. When the duck walked up to the lemonade stand and he said to the man running the stand, "Hey, bump, 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 got any grapes?" The man said, "No, like I said yesterday, we just sell lemonade, okay? Why not give it a try?" The duck said, "Goodbye." Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle, till the very next day, bump, bump.